Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today at the Charity Lunch and Learn for the Illinois SECA campaign. On behalf of all of the charities and federations in the campaign, we want to thank you so much for this opportunity, and we're so grateful for your support. We have a great lineup prepared for you today, from local to national to international organizations. You will hear from several presenters, and the session will be recorded, as I mentioned, so you can share that out with those who couldn't make it. If you have any questions along the way, please enter them in the chat and we will do our best to address them either in the chat or at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. And I realized that when I shared my screen, I did not share my computer sound. So give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm going to present first. My name is Deanna Nyers, and I'm the Senior Director of Campaign Partnerships at Global Impact. Thank you again so much for the opportunity to speak with you today. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Global Impact and our charity partners. We are a nonprofit federation organization that represents international charities in your campaign. We've been around for more than 60 years and have nearly 100 global partners. We've raised nearly $2 billion for all these organizations since our inception. Our mission really is to inspire greater giving for global causes. So think of the international charities in the campaign when you think of Global Impact. Our charities work across causes like disaster relief, supporting refugees, empowering women and girls, alleviating poverty, clean water, and more. Oh. Sorry, did someone else click share screen accidentally?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No problem.
I was trying to let me.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Right.
You're good, no problem.
Did I get rid of it?
Yes. Okay. Can everybody see my screen again, hopefully? Okay. So we work across all these different causes, empowering women and girls, alleviating poverty, clean water, and more. These organizations are really delivering life-saving support to people around the world. And the needs are really great. Over 700 million people today are living on less than $1.90 per day. So here's a quick video that describes the kind of person who supports Global Impact and our charities. So I wanted to take a moment just to speak a little bit further about disaster response and recovery work. It's really no surprise that this comes up as a top cause of concern for many employees. On this slide, you can see that disasters increased 41% over the last 10 years. And so this is something that really affects us all. There are 100 million forcibly displaced people around the world, more than at any time in modern history. But the impacts are uneven. 91% of disaster deaths occur in developing economies, and low resource areas don't have the same systems and finances in place to bounce back as quickly as we do here in the States. So here I have a few examples of what can be done in the scale of your support. We always talk at Global Impact about how giving internationally is far-reaching. Your dollars really do go further and make a bigger impact for communities that don't have much. Just $1.19 purifies water for a dozen people for 10 days. $10 provides life-saving medical supplies to health centers around the world, including Ukraine. and $108 provides 8 family with temporary shelter in an emergency. So we hope you'll join us in being a global champion. You can help proactively plan and respond to emergency disaster relief efforts by supporting these and our other charities, including AmeriCare's International Rescue Committee, Save the Children, World Food Program, and UNICEF. So if you'd like to learn more about global impact in our alliance, I encourage you to visit our website, charity.org/give. We have a really great resources there, interactive cause maps, where you can, look at certain areas of the world that you're interested in. So, thank you again so much. This campaign truly does not run, without you. Our charity partners rely on your support, and we're all so appreciative of you giving your time and donations to either Global Impact or any of the incredible charities in the campaign. Thank you so much. I am going to stop sharing and I will pass it over to Earthshare.
Just going to share my screen real quick. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can see it. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. So hello and good morning. We'd like to thank you on behalf of Earthshare and all the other partner charities for taking the time out of your day to support the Illinois State and University Employees Combined Appeal. So my name's Audrey and I'm with Earthshare, which is America's oldest and largest coalition of environmental and conservation organizations, empowering individuals, businesses, and nonprofits to come together and take positive action for the planet. Over our 35-year history, we've raised more than $375 million for environmental progress. And while that might seem like a big number, but did you know that less than 3% of charitable donations each year are directed to environmental nonprofits? Despite this, we annually cut down 7 billion trees, release over 5,000 million metric tons of CO2 into the atmosphere, create 300 million tons of waste a day, create 300 million tons of waste, and utilize 322 billion gallons of waters per day, and that's just in the US alone. These numbers can be incredibly hard to visualize, but the truth is we are putting an alarming amount of stress on our environment. This is why we are so grateful for the opportunity to speak to you about our partner organizations who are working on the front lines of the environmental movement across the country, as well as here in our own backyard. Our nonprofit partners include World Wildlife Fund, the Nature Conservancy, and local groups like the Wetlands Initiative and Illinois Conservation Foundation, along with hundreds of other environmental nonprofits that work tirelessly to make environmental change. In 2021 alone, our partners were able to conserve and manage more than 5 million acres of land for African wildlife, protect more than 17,000 acres of natural land in Illinois to provide clean air and water for plants, animals, and people, treat more than 5,000 injured animals, eliminate 38 billion pounds of CO2 emissions, restore 150,000 acres of pollinator habitat on farms, and so much more. Because this work has a direct impact on your life and your community, you may be wondering how you can help most effectively. Everything our nonprofit partners do, protecting air, land, water, food, and wildlife, growing grassroots and community commitment, educating policymakers and the public, requires financial resources. This is why the most critical contribution you can make is through your donation. There is no easier way for you to help make a powerful difference all year long than through workplace giving. Pledging the same amount as the cost of a streaming service or your daily espresso will achieve amazing things. For example, $1 per pay period covers the cost of an Adopt a Beach kit to help keep beaches and shorelines clean and safe. $2 per pay period enables farmers to implement practices that help combat the climate crisis. $5 purchases native seed for prairie restoration in Illinois. And $10 per day connects 20 homeowners to the resources they need to make their homes more energy efficient. You can certainly do a lot with your donation, regardless of how much it is, and these are only a few examples of what is achievable. So here at Earthshare, we make sure your contributions are used responsibly by ensuring that all our partner organizations meet strict eligibility criteria and represent the most respected, trusted, and influential environmental nonprofits across the US. It's never been more important for each of us who share this planet to consider sharing the responsibility. There's no more effective way to do that than by giving what you can to the causes and organizations that act as champions for issues that affect each and every one of us. On behalf of everyone at Earthshare, as well as all our nonprofit partners in the Illinois State and University Employees Combined Appeal, we truly appreciate your time today. Your workplace campaign represents so many deserving causes, and I'm sure you can find one or more that speaks to your heart, values, and hopes for the future. Every dollar you pledge today truly makes a difference, and together we are helping protect our planet for all future generations of people. Thank you. So I'm going
Thank
to
you so
pass
much,
it over
Emma. Yeah,
to
you can
everyone.
pass it to community shares. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to pass it over to whoever's next, but if anyone has questions, feel free to message me. I'm not sure if we're going to be asking later.
Carrie with Community Shares, and our SECA code is 903-0000. We have 35 member organizations that work across the state of Illinois on a variety of issues, from animal welfare to housing and the prevention of homelessness, environmental conservation, the fostering of arts, culture, and humanities, improvements in health and nutrition, community empowerment, and social justice. Our members focus on long-term solutions by addressing root causes of social problems that face our neighborhoods, our communities, and Illinois as a whole. They work to provide education, promote access to health care, empower women and children, shelter animals, advance home ownership, advocate for individual rights, and work to end discrimination and violence. Several of our members work in the area of animal welfare: the Animal Protective League, the Champaign Humane Society, the Anti-Cruelty Society, Forever Home Feeling Ranch. They're providing safe shelter, medical and social rehabilitation, stimulating habitats, and positive placements for companion animals. We have other members that work in the areas of housing to ensure all Illinoisans have access to safe and affordable housing. Everything from eliminating unfair housing practices, protecting tenant rights, advocating to prevent and end homelessness in Illinois, and advancing home ownership. We also work to improve the environment by engaging Illinoisans in environmental stewardship and working to conserve the quality of our natural resources. Our member organizations who work in the arts make sure that all Illinoisans have access to community-owned art and media, and that it reflects all the members of our vibrant communities. Member organizations working in health and nutrition make sure that all Illinoisans have access to quality and affordable health care, and they work to eliminate food insecurity, providing food pantries, meals for children, and access to all. We also focus on empowerment of women, children, and families, reaching underserved communities through community outreach and partnerships, transforming communities to develop and invest in sustainable programs. We have member organizations supporting increased independence and quality of life for adults with intellectual disability. We have organizations that work to strengthen the power and the voice of low-income and working families at all levels of civic life. Members providing educational opportunities and scholarships to help children, and those that increase access to services for the survivors of domestic violence. Our goal is social justice. Our members envision a more inclusive and equitable Illinois with broader access to social and economic opportunities, equal recognition of civil, legal, and human rights, and respect for all. So by giving to Community Shares, or one of our 35 member organizations, you can support improvements in your local community and make sure that Illinois is a wonderful place for everyone to live. And I will pass it on to Casey with Black United Fund of Illinois.
Thank you kindly. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Bear with me. Can everybody see that?
No,
Yes, I think
teacher-
you're sharing the wrong window because we can see the Teams window. So yeah, if you perhaps minimize the Teams or.
I'm sorry, did you guys see the video?
No, we didn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you want to try to click share your screen again, include computer sound, and then make sure it's selecting the right window and minimize the Teams box
Okay.
so that you just see your video screen.
How about now?
Yep, yep, yep. You
Okay,
can see
here
your
we go. Here
video.
we
Great. Sorry, we can't hear the sound.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you want, you can put the link to the video in the chat if you don't want to try again.
So I will put the video, the link to the video in the chat. And number one, I just wanted to thank everybody for having this opportunity to present. And, you know, just a little bit about the Black United Fund. We are a 35-year-old agency, and we've invested over 150 million in this last 35 years. And our affiliates range from cultural arts to economic development. And we are currently coming out of COVID, as everybody else is, and we're looking to raise funds to give back to the community. And when you think about Black United Fund, our mission is helping the community help itself. And so by investing in the Black United Fund, you're investing local. So that's what I have at this juncture. But what I will do is I will provide our video in the chat.
Great, thank you. United Way, you're next.
All right, so you guys should have my screen up on there. So first of all, thank you all for giving us a little bit of time today. Certainly do appreciate it. I'm Jared Brown. I'm here with United Way of Central Illinois here in Springfield, but really here to talk about our United Ways around the state and to give you a little information on what it is that United Way does, and of course to bring attention to some of our partners that we have. And there we go. As a network, United Way is actually the largest philanthropic organization in the world. But we are a network. We're a network of 1,800 independent local United Ways, each of them working within their own communities, each of them independent of each other and autonomous in the work that they do. But together as a network, we're the largest private funder of social service organizations in the world, in the United States, Illinois, and most communities within Illinois. In fact, Illinois United Ways reinvest about $170 million each year into local programs and local charities working in each of your communities. Now, although each of us is a separate organization, we all do focus upon the same basic issues, which is to make sure that the basic needs, education, financial stability, and health of every person in each of our communities is met. But because we're local, it means that when you make a gift to a United Way or to one of our partners, your dollars are staying local. It also means that if that gift's made to your local United Way, it's a local board of directors and local volunteers who are making those decisions, and that the programs that they're funding within your community are based upon what the needs of your community are. And so while we all do tend to focus upon the same things, we have different needs in each of our communities, and we're addressing those different needs. A lot of times, because United Ways are a little bit different from each other, it can be hard to explain what it is that United Way does as a whole. But essentially, United Ways do two things. And the first one is that we connect people to services. And so within Illinois, we offer 211, which is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week hotline that anybody can call, and a trained specialist will answer the phone. And they'll walk them through what type of needs that they're experiencing. If it's an emergency situation, such as a situation involving domestic violence or suicide, they'll directly connect them with any local hotline that there is, or directly connect them to 911 if needed. But otherwise, they're going to walk that family or that individual through what needs they're experiencing, and they're going to be able to refer them to any organization locally that's able to provide that direct assistance. And so the example that I utilize is, let's say someone calls for, let's say, utility assistance, because there are multiple agencies that have utility assistance available throughout the year. 211 is actually tracking that. And so they'll be able to tell you who has assistance available today and who's able to provide that immediately. You know, it can often be challenging for families who are in crisis to find the help that they need, and 211 is there to help. Now, I will note that right now it's not available statewide. It's available in most Illinois communities, but of course in the Chicago area, it's not yet implemented. But the state of Illinois, along with our local United Ways, are working to make sure that there's coverage for the entire state of Illinois and Chicago within 2 years, I think is the target for that. But that's the first thing we do is we help connect people to services within Illinois. But beyond connecting them to services, we have to make sure that those services exist. And so United Ways are there to listen to their communities, to utilize data at a local level, to prioritize those needs, and then to bring together organizations and people to meet each community's needs. And so what you'll find is that depending on who your local United Way is, their work's going to be a little bit different than the United Way next door. And so a good example for you guys is, you know, within Chicago, obviously a large community that's made up of a large number of smaller neighborhoods and smaller communities and smaller municipalities. They actually have a neighborhood network initiative that goes within all the communities within their service area and looks at what the different needs are within each of those communities. And so the programs that they're funding within the Brighton Park area are going to be very different than the programs that they're funding in Evanston. And that's because their goals within those communities are a little bit different from community to community. Likewise, within our own United Way here in the Springfield area, our priorities are a little bit different. So we focus upon 4 issue areas, but within each of those issue areas, we have specific priorities that we're addressing. And so, for instance, with basic needs, we address emergency food and shelter. And then, of course, we have the other areas, what we call the building blocks for a good life. And these are the programs that are working together to provide access to healthcare, provide stable housing or long-term housing, to move people out of homelessness. They're programs that are all designed to work together to address what our needs are at a local level. And so, you know, I would encourage each of you to not just look at the agencies that United Way is funding or that are listed in the book, or their partners within the community, but actually look at that local unit. Look at the work that they're doing within the community and how they're working with partners to actually provide solutions to each of our community's toughest challenges. So with SECA, you'll notice that the largest section of the SECA book is the United Way section. You'll find every United Way listed by county, along with all of their local partner agencies. And in many cases, many of the United Ways will allow you to actually give to issue areas. So if you only wanted to give to education programs, or if they had a violence initiative and you want to give to that, you have those options. So you can search by county. And what I would always tell you, of course, is make sure that, because there is such a large number of charities within the SECA book, make sure you always double check your code, turn in a pledge form. But that is all that I had for you presentation wise today. So thank you very much for the time and for joining us today, and have a wonderful holiday season as we move into November and December here.
Thank you so much, Jared. We're going to pass it over to UNCF.
Good afternoon. How is everyone? I hope you're doing well, and I reiterate the thoughts of all the charities on the phone by telling you thank you. We appreciate you, and we certainly could not do our work without you. The pandemic has impacted all of us, and now that we're coming off of it, or seem to be coming off of it, we're still having problems. I'm trying to get share my screen to work and talking while I do that. I know that's why you guys are saying, what did she do? No, that's not what you wanted. There we go. So UNCF is 78 years old. And one thing most people don't know about us is they think we just fund our students to go to historically Black colleges and universities. And that's not true. We are the #1 funder of minority students across the country. Our students attend more than 1,100 colleges and universities here in Illinois. We have a total of about 1,400 scholarships, and the top 2 places that our students go to school are University of Illinois Chicago and University of Illinois Champaign. So that's one thing that most people don't know. UNCF strives to help make an opportunity for people so that they can graduate from college. Most of you may know our logo, which is a mine is a terrible thing to waste. But in the past years, we've said it's also a wonderful thing to invest in. We find that the help that we're able to give students in just an amount of a $5,000 scholarship will help them graduate from college. HBCUs currently represent 3% of all colleges and universities, but we enroll 10% of our minority students. So when we ask you to consider giving to UNCF and why, you'll see down at the bottom of the box that $3 a week can pay fees for students for 1 semester, and $187 a week for those of you that are extremely generous can help pay the cost of tuition for students for 1 year. Here's what we do know. The HBCUs produce 19% of all African American college graduates, and we generate 20% of STEM students. So I ask, when you're thinking about giving, that you consider UNCF or any of the other charities as a choice. We appreciate you and thank you for spending this time with us today. Thank you. And get the sharing off.
Thank you so much. American Cancer Society is next.
I will my presentation, sorry. Can you see my screen okay?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So my name is Taylor Morrell. I'm a director with corporate relations with ACS here in Chicago. So again, as everyone has already mentioned, thank you so much for giving us the time to connect today. Unfortunately, as everyone knows, simply put, cancer is not simple. We have over 200 types of cancer that are known, and it's affecting 1 in 2 men and 1 in 3 women right now in their lifetime. So I think everyone on this call, unfortunately, has a loved one, either themselves or maybe a parent, a friend, family member that that's affected by this right now. And it's something that we are doing our best to tackle. Our vision is to end cancer as we know it for everyone. Every cancer, every life, we treat the same. We're a volunteer led, staff supported organization, and the more people we have who join our mission, the more lives that we save. Right now, ACS has about 3 million volunteers, which is just absolutely phenomenal. And we have the experience and the resolve to meet the challenges of our times. As we know, it's a ever-changing environment. We are fighting to decrease cancer mortality rates and increase life expectancies. I know here in Chicago, that's a very specific effort that we are really trying to hone in on. As where you live can determine if you live or not. So it's something that we are really trying to make a very specific, tangible effort with. We have affordable, high quality treatments that move from the lab to the bedside quickly, at fair and just opportunities for everyone to survive cancer, and ultimately just a world without cancer as well. And how we do this, we fight cancer from every angle. So, from research, we are the largest nonprofit funder of cancer research, investing over $5 billion in cancer research. We played a really large role in some of the most important cancer breakthroughs in history. We provide free rides to treatment as well. So, transportation has been identified as one of the greatest barriers to care. One of our programs is called Road to Recovery, and that removes the barrier and ensures that everyone has the best outcomes for patients to make sure that they can get to their treatment. We have a free night of lodging. So for many, the best treatment isn't always in your backyard. So we have a community of over 30 Hope Lodge facilities, and they're across the country. They offer free temporary lodging for cancer patients that are receiving treatment away from home. Our Hope Lodge program reduces that financial strain on you and your family, makes treatment more accessible, and improves the quality of life for thousands of families every year. I had the opportunity, I have a family that I'm very close with that has utilized our Hope Lodge program. And as you know, if you have a family, if you have a young child and you hear that you have cancer, your life just turns upside down. So when you think about just getting them the care that they need, finding that, that if that's over 40 miles away, how are you going to go back and forth to your treatment center? What are you going to do if you have worry about your mortgage payments, having to hold down your job, maybe your partner or your spouse's job as well? Your health insurance if you lose your job. Just all of these things kind of spiral out of control, and really taking that weight off your shoulders helps so much. So just making sure that we can lift that off of your shoulders, families find is one of the most tangible solutions that we can provide. So that's something that a lot of families really have a need for, and we're very happy to provide that. And then our cancer helpline. So our cancer helpline, NCIC 24/7. We are here just to, again, talk to people who are just diagnosed, people who are in the midst of their treatment, caring for somebody. It's National Caregivers Month. Or if there are people that are just looking for information, trying to find out what's going on, even with immunizations, is this something that is recommended for me? people who are looking for support or trying to arrange transportation or lodging, like we just talked about, or people who just need a compassionate ear as well. We have some really wonderful, like I said, 3 million volunteers. So there are people that sometimes just need somebody to talk to that maybe isn't a family member or a friend, but something that can just be sympathetic. So we have also over 200 other languages via translation service. So we try to be here for everybody. And we also help with our American Cancer Society social media tool as well through that service. We have cancer.org as our website, and they're an excellent resource for cancer information, for news, as well as for local programs and services. So if you do have questions about what age it would be recommended to get screened, or research and recent discoveries that we're making, go to cancer.org to find that information. As far as behavior change, I think one of the best things about that would be if you're looking to like quit smoking is a great example. I have a parent who smokes a pack of cigarettes a day, and it's hard when someone just says quit cold turkey or switch to a nicotine patch. Sometimes you really have to dive deep into the behaviors and you need further support with that. So through the support of the American Cancer Society, we're able to help offer that one support, and we're able to help so many people quit smoking as well. And then our advocacy program as well. So the American Cancer Society User Action Network continues to lobby for legislation to support cancer patients and their families. So something like that would be a smoke-free law, healthcare bills, and just things along those lines as well too. And your donations help us with making that impact. So if you don't mind sharing, this information with your coworkers and your loved ones, this is really kind of what what these donations translate to. But if you are looking for that 24-hour helpline support, free answers for that would be a $30 donation. Or if that Road to Recovery program sounded like something you would like to support, that's what that $50 donation goes to. So thank you so much for your time today, and we appreciate all of your continued support.
Thank you so much. And now it is time for our last organization, Puppies Behind Bars.
Hello, let's start with, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
And now see my image. And again, thanks so much for having us here. Thank you to the other organizations. And I apologize again for that screen share bomb earlier. I'm not very adept at this technology, but hopefully this will work. Let's see. Can you, oh, it says screen sharing is pause.
It looks like we can see your screen.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's not playing, so let's see. Can you hear it?
Yes.
All right.
Have that feeling
I'm gonna pause it just long enough to say that I'm showing a video. Normally I talk and show things, but it's our 25th anniversary this fall. So we just had this video produced, and it really encapsulates our history and what we're doing now quite well. It's 7 minutes long, so I'm going to fast forward now and then through some spots, not that aren't important, but that are less germane to what we're doing. So thanks, and here we go.
lost hope, dreams, possibilities, gone.
I was making bad choices.
It was a murder.
As a kid, hearing, that you're going up for 16 years, it felt like life is over.
You just try to survive.
Healing broken lives. I was injured in a house explosion. I definitely had anxiety, depression, vertigo, nausea, repairing shattered spirits. I could have continued doing what I love doing through the power of puppies.
The organization was founded in 1997 by Gloria Gilbert-Stoga. Gloria brought 5 puppies from Guiding Eyes for the Blind, puppies that they didn't think had any chance of making it as guide dogs. And the women raised these puppies, and 3 of the 5 made it.
And so began a quest to change lives. Look at where we are today. The stories that we've heard have been very gratifying. Lucy was our first graduate. Initially, dogs would be taught 12 commands. Today, that number exceeds 90.
Justin's got my back. Yes, good boy. Good, got my back.
And our clients' needs have expanded too.
After the attacks of the World Trade Center, there was growing need for explosive detection canines.
We're asked to search suspicious packages. Gus is indicating no hit on this.
Larry and I, a typical day for us would be inspecting vehicles coming into government compounds. We've been to Afghanistan, we've been to Baghdad.
Then we began helping veterans who brought home the horrors of the battlefield.
To reach the point of darkness where you feel like anything would be better than waking up.
These trained dogs are the best healing medicine of all. And they are dogs that are trained by incarcerated individuals.
The puppy raisers, quite simply, you have given me my life back. Fast.
Through these first 25 years, our puppies have filled many varied voids, like becoming instant friends for both disabled children and the elderly.
A lot of elderly people in New York City live kind of shut-in lives. I'm going to move past this. It's a lovely program, but a very small program, the Dogs Visiting Senior Citizens in New York.
In another global challenge, the pandemic, we were there. And so was the NBC Today Show to share our effort with a national audience.
I really love this story. I've never seen so much loss or dealt with so much death. Adults understand. They feel how I'm feeling and they want me to feel better.
We became aware that not only do veterans often suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, but first responders often.
For me, it was 30 years of responding to grandma's not breathing. And I really didn't know what he could do for me. He was the solution.
Pete became my crutch, my aid. It just brings that extra joy. I get a lot of information from the family members that when they say, you know, he's totally different, he goes out more.
He really was able to kind of reintegrate into the things he did before.
When I hear that, I feel like that's what we do. That's what we want to do, is help these guys and women, you know, be back to normal. Oh boy, that's a boy.
I'll clumsily move forward again to our newest program, which is, in addition to providing the service dogs for veterans and for first responders who are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, our dogs are being trained to work with police departments as what's called a facility dog. The dogs are not paired with a disabled person, but they're paired with an officer who either works in officer wellness and or community outreach. So these dogs do remarkable work building bridges between law enforcement and the communities they serve. And particularly interesting aspect of this program is that the police officers who become the dog handlers go into prison for 2 weeks to be trained by the incarcerated puppy raisers. It's really an eye-opening experience for both sides in that endeavor. They could hardly imagine that they would become friends, and yet
Showing them, like they can actually see, like, oh my gosh, this woman was here and look at her. You can come out and you can be successful and you can do good things.
Which leads us to our latest and perhaps most incomprehensible challenge.
I never thought in all my life I would be in a prison taking part in something so monumental for NYPD.
Incarcerated individuals and law enforcement working together in prison.
Now we have facility dogs going to active duty police departments, and they're doing amazing work.
Our mission, first and foremost, is for our officers. You know, we're looking to enhance officer wellness within our department.
We saw firsthand the power of what that relationship was when we had those two police officers who were murdered at the funeral services at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Several of our dogs were there to comfort not just the audience, but the entire city of New York, whose hearts were broken.
I'll close there as we've gone a few minutes over our 5 minutes. I'll just say in closing that immediately after, the morning after we had an event to celebrate our 25th anniversary, a lot of the local police departments, Northeastern police departments, would have our dogs. The officers came with their dogs and they were in New York overnight at a hotel. And that was the night that the shooting happened of the police officers in Bristol, Connecticut. So as a group, all 13, I believe, officers who were here for our event went to Bristol, and most of them spent much of the next week there so their dogs could work with the surviving families and surviving members of the force. So that's it for Puppies Behind Bars. Thank you so much, all of you, for your attention and your support, and to the other organizations, thank you for the wonderful work you all do.
All right, that was our last organization. So just want to wrap up today. And again, thank everybody for their time. We'll be sure to share the recording with campaign leadership so that those who couldn't attend can listen in. So thank you all again very much. And we again really appreciate your support. Bye-bye.